Hello apostates and future apostates. I want to do a quick video. I know it's been a while. I've had a tough week, and then that car crash it depleted me. So I had to take a little bit. And I wanted to make a follow-up video to my cousin Kurt's video that I did before the crash. I just wanted to speak a little bit about mental health in the organization. I know it's hard to explain, and I know people are going to blame a lot on your own family, because I know some Jehovah's Witnesses that were allowed to get mental help and some that weren't. So I'm just going to share my experience with you. This happened, I think Isabella was like 6 months old. I was already married for 2 years, and I went to the Kingdom Hall, and my parents came in and my sister Jessica came in, but not my sister Kaitlyn. And so they sat down with us, and I leaned over and I was just like, "Hey guys, where's Katie?" And I think she was 17 at the time. And they said, "I'll just tell you later, I'll tell you later, but you can't do that to me." So I kept picking at them, and I was like, "No, where's Kaitlyn?" And they said that she had tried to commit suicide earlier in the day, and that they brought her to the hospital, they pumped her stomach, and they didn't want to stay there because they didn't want to give any attention to her negative attempt. They didn't want to give her any attention towards her negativity. So I immediately got up, grabbed my daughter, and I went to the hospital because I was not going to let her sit in that hospital alone. I went there. She was very, very upset. She wouldn't really talk. She was devastated and alone, and she was left there alone. I stayed with her that night, and after a couple of days, when they thought she was safe enough to go home, they made my mom sign a paper that said she had to take her to a therapist. After that whole incident, she took her to one therapy session and spent the 2 hours preaching about Jehovah, because my mom was not going to let anybody say that this was Jehovah's fault. Who cares if her daughter dies, as long as Jehovah's name isn't reproached? So that to me just made me ill my whole life. And then it just really struck a chord about 4 years ago. My daughter Isabella had a similar situation. She didn't try to commit suicide, but she just kind of had a breakdown. She had a lot going on in her life. She, witnessed all the abuse, and then saw how we struggled for so long, and lost her entire family because we left an abusive man. So she was to the point where she couldn't even leave the house. I was having to have tutors come in from the school and take care of her. And, immediately they wanted to put her on medication and speak to somebody. So, of course, the next day we were at the therapist's office. She went I think she went twice a week for a long time. And after a year, she still couldn't go back to school. So they put her in an outpatient hospital. And there was other things that she's not comfortable with me talking about on YouTube. So I'm not going to mention those things, but she went through a lot, and she did have several suicide attempts. And the difference between my mom taking care of them and me taking care of them is that when she said that she was suicidal, I would drag everything off of her bed, let her lay down, call the therapist. They gave me instructions on how to handle it, and I sat there all night. I didn't sleep. I just sat there to make sure that nothing was going to happen to her. And coming from a mother who would have just abandoned me, if that had been the case with me, it just showed me exactly what not to do. Bella worked so hard. She, did therapy, she did medication, she went off of that after a few months because she didn't love it, but she worked so hard and, started meditation, started yoga, just everything that her therapist suggested. She worked so hard and dug herself out of that pit. And is just still the most amazing child ever. Both of my girls are. But in contrast to that, my sister Kaitlyn has had 3 husbands. She has 3 different baby dads. And she's still suffering. She's never gonna be okay because she was never allowed to get help. She's had all kind of eating disorders, and you can tell when she's about to lose it. You can just watch it happen. It comes in waves, and nobody takes care of her. Nobody brings her to a therapist. Nobody does anything for her. And I tried when I was still in there to help her. She moved with us to New York. We were in Indiana when that all happened. She moved with us to New York, and I tried to get her the help that she needed, but there was no support. So it's just the difference between care, going from Jehovah's Witness family to a non-Jehovah's Witness family. You're going to do anything to save your child. You're not going to do anything. You don't care. I don't care if that brought reproach on Jehovah's name. I mean, we went to therapy, and there were times where Bella blamed me for everything, and I just took it. And, you know, whatever was going to help her get better. And that was my main goal. And with my family, they didn't care. They honestly just, it was an embarrassment to them. They didn't want anybody to know. They didn't tell anybody that she tried to commit suicide. So it's just amazing that there's so many people suffering and so many people just go without help. And that's just another reason that to just bring awareness to this horrible, horrible religion. All right, that's all I had to say for today. I'll try to do another one this week. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.